Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hunting for Silver Linings. Today is Friday. It is January 8th, 2021, and I'm here in the Great Lakes region of the United States in Michigan. I'm the chapter director of Grand Rapids, um, and we are joined here with a beer. Joining us from Salcott, um, thousands and thousands of miles away. So thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
And we were talking about just before hitting record that you were planning on meeting everyone at Global this upcoming conference. Um, Unfortunately, we won't be able to meet in person, but this will have to take place of that, I guess. So one reason why we do this is to help introduce chapter directors to each other, but then also educate others like investors or people interested in ecosystems, what's happening around the world, what opportunities there might be. And then we also like to break the stereotypes of what we might have about regions and the opportunities there. So thank you so much for your time. And if you could start with a little introduction about you, your personal background, and how you found Startup Grind.
Hello, everybody. My name is Abir Khalid Hayat, and I'm basically a co-founder of Beanbags. It's a first co-working space in Sialkot. And a part of it, I'm also a co-director of Startup Grind Chapter Sialkot. And a part of it, I'm also a co-founder of a We Grow NGO, which is basically women empowerment-based NGO. And basically, the how did I find the Startup Grind is basically when I was in the capital city of Pakistan, which is Islamabad. I was there for my studies and then I was doing my job over there. And then I have to move back because my family lives there and everything. So when I moved back, I was trying to find my like my capacity, my field's job, which is basically regarding to media because I've studied media sciences and all that. But unfortunately, it's completely an industrial area, which is quite hard to find my kind of my field in there. But I remember that the office where I work in Islamabad, my boss is know Roshane very well. So basically, he connects me through Roshane, and then that's how I joined Startup Grind Chapter Sialkot. I joined it as a social media manager firstly, but then slowly and steadily, Alhamdulillah, I am a co-director. And it really, really helped me a lot because I moved to Islamabad when I think I had done my intermediate. And after that, I had no idea what's going on in Sialkot, what's the market over there, how's the people and everything. When I moved back, it was quite hard for me to find a particular feel and stuff because I don't know the people, I don't know the market at all. But later on, when I met her and I started, when I joined the Startup Grind chapter, Sialkot chapter, I met a lot of good people who have like the experience, industrial experience, and that's
Mhm.
how I gained the knowledge about the industrial area. That's how
Great.
Startup Grind helped me really a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's what Startup Grind is supposed to do. I think that's a really great story for um, like getting plugged in as a resource, and then getting bitten by the bug, and now you're part of the team. That's awesome. Uh,
Yeah, thank you.
we have a lot of chapter directors that have a story of some deep experience. They've been a founder before a couple different times, or um, they weren't necessarily consumers of the Startup Grind brand and energy, and they were oftentimes the pioneer of their chapter. So it's really neat that you found such incredible value in getting plugged in. So um, now, maybe a little bit more about beanbags now, because you launched in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes, basically, as you know, it's a first co-working space in Sialkot. The concept of beanbags, the co-working space, is not there at all. We have to create the awareness. We have to, direct the people that this is the first co-working space. What co-working space is basically, and what is this all about? We have to, inform about this co-working space thing. So we planned that we start it now because it's take time to it will take time to know people that this place exists, the first co-working exists, what co-working space is basically is. So that's why we plan, and I think it's been like 4 months now that we started it. And alhamdulillah, it's going good. Few people like are coming in here, and a part of it, it's not just only a co-working space. We are also providing the complete IT solutions to all the exporters here. So we are providing different services, and that's how we like taking both two things together in this beanbags.
Sure. And in the last conversation I had with Roshani about the mindset of the region and it being such a focused area on industry and manufacturing, um,
Yes.
what was the research or um, uh, how did you identify the need that it was necessary to have a co-working space? Be the first one.
Yeah, see, there are lots of industries in Salcode, and when it comes to like old people are already running it, but when it comes to their children, they are with a different mindset,
Mhm.
and they even they wanted innovations and stuff. They don't want. Sometimes it happens that, for example, if my father is like industrialist and I'm a media person, and as like I don't want to go into that field, I want to just pursue my own career, my own thing. So that's why I think this place needed the most, and I think that is the need of the city, because there's a lot of talented people here
Mhm.
who are not into the industrial area completely, but they have the knowledge, and they can use the knowledge in their own career path.
Great. So some of the services that are pretty popular with co-working spaces is to offer other support, whether it's mentoring or connection, like your own little community, you know. And is that a big part of what you're offering?
Definitely, definitely. We the work co-workers who joined us in Being Bags, they have like weekly basis mentorship session on their field. Basically, if somebody's doing an SEO, and we have like our IT specialist will give a proper mentorship on SEO thing on a weekly basis. And a part of it, we also do mini events, fortnight events. Sometimes it's on like open mic, sometimes it's like on the freelancing, sometimes it's like, to spread the knowledge everywhere.
Okay. Tell me more about this open mic.
Open mic, basically, we had recently we had an open mic event in which lots of people, basically there was like place for 25 people, they all came in. We make sure that there's, we follow the SOPs and stuff
Mhm.
during the pandemic. So it was a very fun night. It was like singing poetry, some great reflect back on 2020, and then how you can go on 2021 and resolutions and all that. So that was quite a fun event happened.
That sounds fun. That's cool. Would you mind sharing like one or two of the fun stories from what was presented?
Well, it was a fun thing that it happened on the 30th of December, and the on the like after the 12 a.m. it was my birthday, and we called few bloggers on the event. One, they're very talented bloggers. One of the female blogger who writes poetry, and a part of it, she was a very good mimicry. She has a very like voiceover. She's done many voiceovers in which her specialty is monster voice. So she wished me my happy birthday singing in the monster voice. So that was like quite the fun.
That's awesome. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
um, so uh, now that the area has a co-working space and the ecosystem is growing as far as support for entrepreneurs, are the people that are finding you, are they finding you in ways that you anticipated? Is it as difficult as you thought it might be to start up, or is word getting out and so the ecosystem's kind of excited to have you around?
Well, on the first 2 months, it was quite difficult facing things, because the kind of things we planned, we go according to our plan, but unfortunately, it was really hard to spread the knowledge about co-working space, as people doesn't know what co-working space is. Even sometimes people came to us on a startup grind events, and they asked, yeah, or sometimes they just commented on our post on startup grinds pages like, what is startup? This happened to us many times, but that's why we do fortnight events over here, so that we can spread the knowledge. We can inform about beanbags, about co-working space and startups to the people. And now finally I am seeing that this is like getting better now.
Very good. Well, congratulations on making it and launching, especially in a pretty trying environment.
Yeah.
That's a huge success and win for you. So congrats.
Thank you so
Would
much.
also like to hear about WeGrow, because you've been doing that for a little bit longer.
Yeah, basically, WeGrow is an NGO, which is basically a women empowerment based NGO. Uh, Again, we try to basically we wanted women, especially the women who lives in Salcode, we want them to be financially independent. So we call out few girls. We had few sessions in university. We informed about these things and said who wants to do a startup, they can come to us. We can give them direction. We can guide them about different stuff, which can help them in the future to start their own businesses. Unfortunately, this doesn't really happen well, but we are still like planning to do these things. A part of it, we're also call few girls and have their CVs, which we forward to the Chamber of Salcode, and that's how they get a call for a job and stuff. A part of it, we also do the community development things. Like recently, the first wave of the pandemic, we do the ration distribution thing basically to the needy people.
Hmm.
We have this drive, I think about two times, and I think we gave ration bags to more than 1,000 plus families.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
Yeah,
That's,
it is.
yes, I've done a lot of that work, and it's an incredible amount of logistics.
Yes.
And that's just after asking
The
so
best
many
part
people.
was this, that we the department police department in Sialkot had our I have we have that support basically. So they provide the complete list of the people, the
Mhm.
families who are authentic.
Sure.
So we like that's why we didn't have the worry about we are giving, people are faking it or what. We are like confirmed that yes, we are providing ration to the exact needy people.
Right. Great. So, does WeGrow now operate out of beanbags?
Yes, because I am here, so basically we plan things. So yeah, that happens in beanbags as well.
Well, that seems like a really good, pair to work with one another, right? Um,
Yeah.
Now, so the WeGrow, did that come out of personal story or history, or something that you know? Obviously, gender equality and opportunities for women is, it's a global issue, right?
It is. It is. It is.
So, do you have a personal background with that kind of work? It was exposure in school, or what was some of the inspiration?
No, not really, but I have seen few women because I used to do some social work, like not on a big level, but on a small level when I was studying, when I was in my university. So we used to go to different sectors. For example, we often used to go to the transgender sectors. We have when we have to make a documentaries about them. So that's how I was like, these kind of people, or sometimes domestic violence case. We made a documentary on that as well. So I've seen them, and when I heard their stories, and I was like, it's not good. We have to do something, and we have to play our part, being a society, being a member of a society. So that's what triggered me. And when when Roshani shared the idea with me, I was like, let's do this. I really wanted to do this.
How big is the team?
Well, basically, it's majorly me and Roshane, and a part of it we have one other person who's like majorly. His name is Imran. He's also a co-founder of Beanbags as well. Basically, Beanbags has three co-founders: me, Roshane, and Imran. We also like interlinked in Startup Grind, and then we grow, and then Beanbags. So basically, Startup Grind is basically the main reason I connect with them. I get to know the people, and that's how we like get together and just like start many ventures as well.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah.
So now I'd like to pick your brain a little bit on. So you have a lot of knowledge and focus around media, correct?
Yeah.
And uh, media and advertising and messaging. in a mid-pandemic world is different, and it's going to when we emerge, it's going to be a lot different than what we took for granted pre-pandemic. Um, so can you maybe enlighten us a little bit about what you see as important trends on how entrepreneurs need to be communicating with their customers, um, through their creative?
Yeah. Basically, yeah, the social media is playing a major role in that because the Sialkot is industrial area, and most of the people doesn't really know the worth of it before the pandemic. Uh, After the pandemic, mostly every industrialist is like have a special thing on social media that they need a special presence on social media. Otherwise, they don't used to consider the social media side at all because they were on the other marketing and sales side. But now they were like that social media is a need for to go on the process of this their businesses basically. So yeah, and creatively how basically they can do is basically a part of website. Social media is doing amazing job, whether it comes to like creating a page showing your products and stuff, because we have some secrecy issue in Sialkot here. But now things are changing. People are coming to the social media platforms. They're showcasing their products and stuff. And now that's how the things are going on social media and overall media.
Sure. And would you say that that's one of the major ways that you can help your clients at Beanbag?
Definitely.
Like, and because it's a huge challenge for folks to try to get their minds around this new digitization of communication when for generations it just hasn't been that way, right?
Exactly. That's why we say that that's why we are here for you all.
um, so with the entrepreneurs that you have at Beanbags, what are some of the, if you can tell us, maybe some of the exciting things that people are growing and building?
Well, we have two majorly freelancers, not the entrepreneurs. Basically, we have two major freelancers who are on the process of starting their own businesses as well. Right now, one coworker is a specialist in SEO, and he's basically dealing with that. But he's also like planning and working on his firm to a digital create a digital firm in near future,
Hmm.
and that's what basically he's learning here as well.
So because of our discussion on the digitization that's happening because of the pandemic, I imagine there's a lot of demand for this work.
Oh yes, it is a lot.
And are you still doing some of that work as well on the side?
I am majorly on the social media side and the graphics and the video filmmaking and stuff.
Okay. Um, and now Pakistan has a strong startup grind network of chapters. Um, Through the pandemic, have you all been working together on creating content and online events?
Well, Roshani is basically handling all this because I am majorly into beanbags and handling the my this our startup grind chapter community. I'm dealing in the Sialkot sector only, and but yes, Roshani is definitely dealing with all the directors of Pakistan.
And a lot of times, co-working spaces they have their own kind of network that they belong to. Are you
We are in the process of that. We are building
okay?
that. Yeah.
That's cool. That can be like all of this is just so much work, right?
It is, but I love my job, so I'm really happy when I'm working.
Yeah, that's really great. So now that we are, and it sounds like you had such a great celebration for the end of the year there.
Yes.
What is the general feeling as we are turning the corner into a new year and what the planet might look like in a post-pandemic world? What are your thoughts and
Professionally or personally?
both?
Well, professionally, we are. making plans and strategizing things which can benefit our businesses, everything through digitalize, obviously. And personally, I am recently, I in the when the open mic event happened, I basically there was a session regarding reflect back 2020, and are you ready for the 2021? So there was a question everybody asked by was that what will you think of 2021, like what you're gonna do, what's your resolution, sort of a thing, basically. So I just generally said that I was working on, I don't make resolutions at all, because I believe that they don't stick to us. So what I do, that I work on things which I think I needed to. For example, this time I just like working on personally on myself, that I should let things go, so that I can digest and welcome the new things which are coming on my way, and understand them on a greater level.
Hmm. Um, so, on that topic of plans and goals and whatnot, in a pre-pandemic planet, people might have made 5-year plans and work on that as far as their business and even personally. Mid-pandemic, or especially as things were just starting, people were just trying to figure out how to make it to the end of the day. Um, or the end of the week
Exactly.
or the end of the month. And so a lot of people like us who advise entrepreneurs were like, yeah, um, you might have to just throw that 5-year plan away. Who knows? Like, let's work on it for the
Exactly.
next 12 weeks and see if you can
Exactly.
survive that. So um, it sounds, it's inspiring to hear you say that people are comfortable making expectations for at least a year.
Yeah, I know. But the good part is that if you think ahead, for example, if it's like, as we said, that about a year, it's good, because when we know our goal, the major goal, then we can do some small steps and do some small goals and work on them, and that's how we eventually go to the major goal.
And I imagine being a co-working space, you guys are also helping people with accountability on those goals.
Yes, we are trying our best.
Well, it's a lot easier to achieve those things if you have some people around you cheering you on, right? Um, yeah. Um,
We cheer
so
everybody, and everybody in this together, we cheer them and they cheer us.
yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
back and forth. Um,
yeah.
and that's great. So, uh, what other uh, are there some plans that you and Roshni have for the Sailcott chapter for 2021?
Well, because again, we've had a physical event a few weeks back, not few, I think a few, 1 or 2 months back, basically. But then again, the second wave happened, and then eventually we have to come on to the virtual event. So we have a few virtual events in the pipeline, and we are
Mhm.
working on them.
And are there any that you might want to talk about as far as the at least the general theme for people that might want to pay attention?
Well, right now we are working on, basically we have few uh, topics in our mind. We are deciding what to present the first, because we are still like, if there's a because we have already called few industrialists, but we are also like trying to bring the mentors, basically from the from the outer world, outside the Pakistan, basically. And we are planning to get interacted with the people who will join the event on the different ways, various topics, for example, which can help them to for example, like freelancing, basically. Let's talk about freelancing. That is kind of a thing we are planning, because pandemic is there, and people are like losing their jobs and stuff. So this is something kind of a thing which can help them. So that's what we are planning.
Great. So um, one of the last questions that I always ask the directors in the community is since you're so busy helping other people, um, we always like to ask, what can the Startup Grind network of directors around the planet, what can we do for you? What can we do for beer?
Just first of all, not specifically for me, but just I just said that let's just keep us interact connected, interact with each other, and let's just simply pray that this pandemic will get over, or the vaccines will be here soon, so that we can pursue on our original plans further for the startup grind events and everything.
Sure. Well, should you think of anything that you personally need or your chapter needs or bean bags, what a larger audience of directors can do for you, you can always feel free to reach out to us, because as we are taking this tour around the world, we are having a lot of conversations with people, and one thing that we love to do is make those kinds of connections. So
Thank
please
you
keep
so
that in
much.
mind. Um, I'm really grateful for the generosity of your time and letting us get a good introduction to you and who you are, what you're involved with WeGrow and Bean Bags and the Startup Grind there. So really appreciate your time. I'll
Thank you
let
so
you
much
have
for having me.
the rest of your evening back, and we'll connect hopefully in the next couple months and check in and see how things are going.
Definitely, definitely.
All right. Good night. Ciao.
All right. Bye bye.